Alrighty, boys and girls, it is time to pay attention to the charts right now, especially Bitcoin, because you know what? This is what tells us what's going on in the market. Our alts and our favorite meme coins like Pepe, which is I'm gonna get to, are they gonna go up or down? So it's very important to look at Bitcoin. And as you can see, guys, since the previous video, right, the major concern we had, or the major question we want to ask or answer, is this the bottom on Bitcoin for the year? That's it. Is this the bottom, the 49K? Are we never gonna see these prices again? This was the bottom. Then if this was the bottom, then are we gonna see higher prices from here? So far we're seeing a very nice bounce on Bitcoin from this level here, right? So this is around 53K 400 or 53K 500, and we're seeing another bounce. So what this tells me, guys, is we are seeing a weakening on that downtrend, which is this local downtrend here. We're seeing it weaken somehow, right? It's the same thing when it comes to the uptrend. When we start to see weakening, we start to put lower highs, right? Lower highs, we go lower. This means there is a weakness to the upside, right? Same thing happens to the downside, right? So we've been putting these lower lows, right? Lower lows, and finally we possibly now are switching to higher lows, which means there is a weakness to the downside, which means there is less selling now and more buying. So it's kind of like now the price is finding some sort of a floor price around 50K, which is being defended now strongly by the bulls here. And if we confirm now this is the low, or this was another higher low, we just gotta be very bullish. And to really confirm that, we need to get above this main price target here, which is that around 59K, right? So why is that? Why we need to go above 59K? Because this is the monthly open, right? So if Bitcoin goes above 59K, this means the September candle or September monthly candle is gonna turn green, as you can see here, right? So this is it. This is the top of this candle, 59,300. This means we finally did again the same thing, which is a green month, a red month, a green month, a red month, a green month, a red month, and we possibly could do another green September. And this would be a very strong sign that we have made a low, or that was the low. 59K was the bottom for the year or for this cycle, and we're gonna see higher prices. But most importantly, why we do need to pay attention to this, guys, because a big move is coming soon on Bitcoin, a real big move, and I'm gonna show you why is that and why we want to pay attention to what's going on now. So we've been a long time now in this sideways range, right? This been 180 days or 6 months. This is usually around the time where we see big moves on Bitcoin, like when we see crashes or something like that, or big bumps. Bitcoin likes to go sideways after a long move or a strong move, either to the upside or to the downside. We see a long time of sideways. Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months, but now we've passed that 6-month mark, and we possibly now coming to that decision day where we're finally gonna see the move that we want to see on Bitcoin, right? Like the decision move. It's either gonna be up or down, but so far it looks like we might have found a bottom on 50K. But let's look at what happened previously as well. So what happened here, guys, previously as well, this is another range we were trading in for a while, and this also took around 180 days, like 182 days, let's say, before we started breaking up higher. And this was basically the start of this impulse up move or bull market move, or whatever you want to call it. And we did have many of those. Now there is a concern that this is possibly a top, or like a double top that people call it, like a double top. We come back here and go down. So what we noticed previously, guys, here is we never ranged so long when it comes to tops on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin never stays too long when it's a top. So let's look at it this way. So here Bitcoin was just putting higher highs, right? Like it's still on an uptrend, broke down, and then that was it, the lower high, and this was the end of it, right? So even if we want to be generous here and just count this as the high to that moment of the breakdown, this was like 58 days, right? This is very short, like 2 months and a half, right? Which is not even close to 3 months of like, this was it, and then we went down, and then we spent maybe around here, we spent again another 3 months, as you can see, guys, like 3 months, and then we went higher. So usually we never see Bitcoin staying on top for too long. Like even here again, guys, like 50 days, if we really being generous and not counting the tops, it's around 50 days. So never seen actually Bitcoin staying 180 days at tops, but we've seen it doing 180 days here. So this is maybe specific to this uptrend that we've been noticing here, especially because this uptrend has been going on with or while we have very high rates, which is something very important to the economy and to risk assets like Bitcoin. They do prefer a lower rate environment in the economy, but now we have a 5%, or we've been going through this 5%, and we're expecting cuts soon to happen, to go towards like maybe 4%, then 3, then 2, and then 0, and that's when altcoins go crazy. But maybe because we've been in this environment where we have 5%, maybe that's why we've seen this long, prolonged sideways moves on Bitcoin that we haven't seen before, right? Or we've seen once here in 2019. That's why we've seen a lot of people also call that similarity here. When we see this is the top in 2019, and this one actually took a bit longer, but let's say from the breakout, this was also like 180 days from this breakout. Now this was a black swan. You know what happened here, the bug, the lockdowns and stuff. So if this did not happen, we actually could call this is the start, and we were gonna start earlier here, around here. But this also took around 190 days or 6 months, and where we finally broke the trend, right? This downtrend here, we broke it after 190 days, and then we started moving up. So there is that. Now we see in 2017 as well, we never spent a long time at tops, like we never spent a long time ranging around the highs. So even here you see this top, we topped around 19k or 20k Bitcoin, and that was it. Like that was it. Like we sold off. That was a blow off top, right? They call that the Burj Khalifa kind of tower. Like you come up to the high, you blow off top, and that's it. That's it. That's the end of it. But we rarely have the 180 days. Like the longer we look, we rarely have 180 days. Maybe in uptrend, like in uptrends we do have. So there is one here. This as well did not take that long, but this one took around 3 months or less. This one took around 2 months, right? 2 months here again, and maybe another 2 months here. This was as well another 2 months of sideways, like 2 months sideways, 2 months sideways, while we were in this uptrend, right? So we never actually spent 180 days. Like the longer I look here, unless it's a bear market, so maybe this was a 180 days. This was more than 180 days, but this was a bear market. But you see again here in 2013, blow off top. We never spent a long time at around the highs. It was never the case, right? We never spent a long time, like maybe a few weeks, and then that's it. We top and then we sell off, like barely. So if we extend this to like 180 days, by then you're already around the bear market lows. Like this was Bitcoin going heavily down, selling off. Same thing in 2017, from the high to, like, if we count 180 days, we were already down, right? Already down, floor prices, bear market prices. So now 180 days and we're still around the high, right? We're still around the high, and it's the first time that you start to see this 180 days, 6 months of sideways. We've seen it the first time here, May, June, which is funny. It's around the same time frame, right? It is around the same time frame in 2023. So we actually, this took us until October to actually break up from that. So, but this started a month late than today. Today we started this one in March. This one started in April. So this broke out in October. We can expect this one to break out in September. But this is actually the first time we see this. There are different opinions on why we did that. Some people say because of the rate cuts, right? 5% of rate cuts. Some people say because of the Bitcoin ETF and the constant buying, right? From the big BlackRock banks and stuff like that, buying Bitcoin, and the JITs and the spaghetti heads selling slowly in here. And also one more thing I wanted to add, this is more of my personal opinion why we did range this long here. I do think because we onboarded a lot of people in 2021. So a lot of people in 2021 bought the top and got hurt. This is actually when we got most of the people joining the crypto space. If we look at this cryptocurrency trend on YouTube search, right? Like what people searching for on YouTube, and we get spikes. Like in 2017, we had a spike here where people were searching for cryptocurrencies on YouTube, but the highest spike was in 2021. So this tells me that we got most of the people on board in the crypto space around the 2021 bull market, around here. And since then we are holding even a higher floor. If we look at it here, it's a higher floor now. More people are interested, more people are watching crypto YouTube than they did in the bear market of 2019 or 2018, and even close to 2017 levels here when the bull market in 2017 started. So this tells me that these people from 2021 are still in this like bearish feelings, right? Because they've seen what 2021 did, and they're very spooky, right? Whenever there is a slight bearish move or bearish sentiment, they start selling, right? And that's what's causing as well this is something I'm thinking that's happening, because we see this clearly here with the Google search and YouTube search. Possibly that's also a case, but what most people are saying when it comes to actually economy and stuff, when the things that happen during this bull trend is the rate cuts and the Bitcoin ETFs, right? This is something new that we didn't have before, and this is what's happening here, getting us to last long. Now, because we never lasted long and we never stayed around all-time highs this long, this tells me that the possibility that this is the top on Bitcoin is very low. Like the actual, this is the top and we're going lower as most people calling now, and this is a double top and we're going back to 20k Bitcoin. The possibility of that actually being the case is very low, because if that was the case, then we're not gonna stay long here around 180 days, because we've never seen that before, right? Second thing is we're gonna have rate cuts coming soon. So today we have CPI reports coming in, and we also seen today the Bank of England actually to start cutting rates as well. We've seen Canada starting at that as well, so it must be close as well for the US to start cutting rates, and that could actually fuel another rally up. Now some people say that we see breakdowns or drops when that rate cut happens, but usually this happens when we have an actual scare in the market, like a recession or something. That's when it happens. But when actually there is a smooth transition from a high rate market to a low rate market, which we call the soft landing, usually we don't have those things because there was a smooth transition, and possibly here the market already priced in the rate cuts on Bitcoin. Now there is another thing here, guys, which also shows that we are not topped, and if there is a big move coming in soon, it might be to the upside. The likelihood of it being to the upside is very high. So this is the Bitcoin logarithmic regression band, right? So it shows overall the cycles. When we are in around the green band here, the lower band, it's time to buy. It's a low risk environment, or it's the best time to be buying or accumulating Bitcoin. And once it's around the red line here, it's time to start selling. And it's been pretty accurate, as you can see. It's been pretty accurate, especially here in 2021 as well. It's been pretty accurate, but down here as well, you see it was the best time. So we're still around the green in that regression band, which is still historically, as you can see here, is the best time to be buying Bitcoin, right? Also, this shows an upper band of around 200k Bitcoin, which is very interesting, right? So we might actually see this time Bitcoin go or closing in, getting close to it. So each time we see that we went close to it, or we tapped it here, we almost got into it, or we tapped it around 64, 59k, 60k Bitcoin, and now it's giving us a target of 200k Bitcoin, right? Now this sounds crazy now, but it might be possible, right? It might be 150k, wouldn't surprise me. 200k, it's still possible, and it's showing up here. So the possibility of a breakout to the upside is very high. Now from what we've seen so far, what we know is we have now maybe confirmed the bottom at 49k. After we've seen this bounce now from 50k or 52k, we've seen these bounces now weakening off this range here, 180 days of going sideways or downward, and we finally maybe breaking this structure and the selling off, and the downtrend is weakening as we're putting in higher lows now. And this will be confirmed once we see the 59k and we're closing in into the actual breakout, which is 180 days. So this actually might happen next week, right? If we close in this like 100, we're gonna be above 180 days, and we're gonna be around 190 days around next week, or in 10 days or in 7 days, we're gonna be in around that 190, or just like 2019, and we're gonna have to start to see some moves coming in into Bitcoin. Something is gonna have to happen. We cannot stay forever in this range. So I do think, right, that the likelihood of going up is very high. As we just seen, all the data shows that the likelihood is to the upside. Now everything is showing overall we're gonna break to the upside, which is very important. Now when it comes to altcoins, right, something interesting is happening on Pepe, which is our favorite meme coin, as you all know, which is the major narrative this cycle. Like the Pepeverse, coins that are related to Pepe are going to be the major gainers this cycle. Meme coins are going to be the major gainers by far, and they're going to continue being that. And if we look at the chart here on Pepe, something interesting is happening as well, which is, right, we're still seeing Pepe is still on an uptrend, right? Still on an uptrend, guys. Nothing really changed here. We're still seeing this higher highs, higher lows structure, right? We're seeing this higher highs, higher lows, and most importantly, we did not actually take out this previous low here on Pepe, which was made in April 2024, right? So this is something that happened because we've been ranging here on Pepe's in this range for a long time, right? People bought in here, took profits here, while the market was still bullish. We were still going fine. Bitcoin was still fine and everything like that, right? Bitcoin just pulled in an all-time high and everything. People took profit, sent it down, but then since then we've seen this major uptrend on Bitcoin on Pepe, which put in another higher high, while Bitcoin put in a lower high, which is a significant move from Pepe, which shows also the strength. Now, one more thing here to look at is this trend here. Besides the trend here, we have maybe found a floor price or a support on Pepe, which is like around these prices here, right? As you can see. So we might actually see a big move on Pepe soon. We couldn't really take out this previous low on Pepe, right? Also, this is the 4th of August, which is as well this part here, this wick on Bitcoin. This was the scare, right? And we didn't actually come back to it, right? We didn't actually come back to it. We might get back to it now, right? But this tells me that Pepe is around its actual bottom, right? It's around its actual bottom. It's surprising how it's holding. It's really one of the strongest altcoins by far this cycle, like by far, by any metric you want to look at it. It's by far the strongest. And we did not even come back down to take out this low, which is from April 2024, which is an even more bullish time here than where we are at today. Here is more bearish, here is more bullish, but still we did not come back down here, which tells me also there is less selling, less people selling, less people interested to sell Pepe and more people interested to buy Pepe. And as well, because Pepe is a meme coin, and this is the beauty of meme coins, there are no VCs, nobody's dumping, nobody's holding 90% of the supply, nobody's doing all that, because it's a meme coin and it has hundreds, thousands and thousands of holders. Nobody can dump the price, let's say, right? Nobody holds enough Pepe to affect the price to such an extent to see the actual price going back down, right? And this is what's happening, like a super perfect supply distribution around these highs on Pepe, right? Supply distribution, because it's a meme coin, 100% of the supply is already in the market, everybody can buy it, not like VC coins that keep dumping. Whatever happens, they keep just dumping the price because the supply, they hold it. With meme coins, that's not the case. That's why they are also the biggest gainers this cycle, long story short. And it's holding pretty well, which tells me like the supply distribution is getting real decent here on Pepe, and Pepe is holding a strong support also, right? Once we're gonna see a move up on Pepe, this is gonna be a very strong move to the upside, because as we just explained now, well, there is nobody to dump this guy, right? Like Pepe, there is nobody, no VC centralized entity that can dump. It's just pure community and people buying it because it's a meme coin and because it's the actual thing this cycle, and it's destined to flip Shiba Inu, right? It's very destined to do that. Now Shiba Inu is still a strong meme coin, but it's very likely it's gonna flip it and start the meme coin season and the Pepeverse season, and the coin that I shared with you as well, like Brett ETH, which is a very strong coin as well in its early stages. But this is a major thing here, guys, with meme coins and supply distribution and stuff like that. That's why they hold strong, like not like utility coins. But look at this downtrend here, right? So now we're actually seeing this also weakening of the downtrend on Pepe here. So you see this lower high, and then we have a higher low, and this is very important to look at when you are actually looking at charts. This is something you want to be looking at, guys, right? Like it shows weakening also of the selling on Pepe, right? There are no more sellers that can freak out, like all the spaghetti hands got out in this redness here. They freaked out, they sold, and now there is no more, like mostly is a 50-50 market now, right? Like the bids and the asks, the buyers and the sellers are almost equal here, which keeping the price. And as soon as we're going to see a shift from Bitcoin in a bullish trend, this will break out and squeeze higher, maybe send finally Pepe around $10 billion in its market cap, and finally we are going to get another meme coin season, right? Maybe not the major one, but we're going to start to see a better sentiment in the market, especially toward altcoins, right? So that's what's going on here, and that's about it here, guys, right? So we expect a big move coming in soon here on Bitcoin, maybe this by the end of this week, and next week we have to see something happening, right? We have to see the possibility that he's gonna be to the upside is very high. Anyways, we're gonna keep monitoring this. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to join my Discord. Link in the description. Is free to join if you want to get in touch, and as well you can follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.